Great importance is attached to the search for knowledge in India. The ultimate goal is philosophical, making not merely the subject, but also the path to that knowledge crucial. A quest for beauty, a journey of faith, loyalty, tolerance, and patience. And it is in this that the relationship between the teacher and pupil, two individuals of unequal knowledge, becomes vital. The bond between them carries over to the realm of that which keeps one centered through life, gives joy beyond one's occupation, family ties, tragedy, and change. It takes great care and humility to find the right teacher, and great sensitivity too, that one may deserve the other. It is this bond that ensures the passing on from generation to generation what is most valuable in Indian culture, the realms of literature and poetry, the art of movement and expression, the colors of nature, the melodies of 1,000 musicians, the philosophy of oneness, of love and trust, of life and beyond, of serenity within and without.
వారణాసి 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 వరుణసి వారణాసి వారణాసి వరుణసి వారణాసి వారణాసి అది సతతము అది సతతము ధనసుత విరహితులకు గతి వారణాసి వారణాసి. My native place is Eluru, West Godavari district in Andhra Pradesh. We are 4 brothers. I am the eldest one. And I have 2 sisters. Everybody sings music except my mother. My father was an ardent fan of Aryapatla Narayan Das, who was the Harikatha Pitamaha of Andhra Pradesh. He was a pioneer of Harikatha. Aryapatla Narayan Dasu was a Pumbhava Saraswati. He writes himself, he sings, he makes Ragam Tanam Pallavi items while doing Harikatha. And he has written so many Harikathas. He has done wonderful things on Tala, Laya. He was a Laya Brahma. So, after listening to Aryapatla Narayan Dasu's Harikathas, he was able to write down some of his kirtanas and practice them for himself. In my father's house, either his father or his brothers didn't have any knowledge of music. They don't know. They know zero about music, except my father. After thoroughly listening to his Harikathas, he has developed a taste towards Carnatic music just by listening. And he used to teach us some songs what he heard from All India Radio. He was an ardent lover of All India Radio, right from the morning till the night. He used to listen to all the concerts broadcast, not only from Vijayawada and from also from Chennai, where in those days there was Arangishai. He used to listen to the concerts and developed a good taste towards pure and traditional music. When we grew up, he started teaching the same kirtanas to us. Ora papulagu కుష్ఠురోగులకు భూరిగర పరిపీడుతులకు గతి వారణాసి వారణాసి. In Harikatha, a usual practice is adding one mitram for every kirtana. After singing Pallavi and Anupallavi, they used to add one mitram. దారబంధు విద్యాహీనులకున పారమూఢ చిత్తులకున్ యోగాచార కుల భ్రష్టులకు సంసార వారరాశి నిర్మగ్నులకు వారణాసి వారణాసి. This was the first kirtana I have learned from my father. So simply I used to reproduce whatever he sings. Of course, my father is my guru. Because he knows music, automatically it came to me. When I was able to sing along with him, he used to correct me. You are just going out of the Shruti. Be careful. Then I was able to know what is apashruti. Though he didn't analyze the meaning of the apashruti, but I was able to identify the apashruti. So in that way, I started learning from him right from my childhood. I was 13 years old. He started contacting all India radio people that my sons are able to sing some kirtanas, asking them to provide an opportunity. So he was given an opportunity to write some small music features on Bala Bhaktas. Bala Bhaktas means Markandeya. He was a Bala Bhakta, Prahlada, who has inspired Tyagaraja. And we were invited by All India Radio to sing as a music feature, and we have given 3 to 4 music features for a duration of 15 minutes.
మరి మరి తారా మండలమంటగా మరి మరి తారా మండలమంటగా మధుర స్వరమున బాడు రాజేవాగరి నామవే పరమధనోవే ఐకికమందని తలచు జీవా
I found Annavara Ramaswamy, Nallan Chakravarti Krishnavacharlu, Nattada Pandurangaraju, Andakuri Jnana Sastri, so many stalwarts in All India Radio in those days. We started participating in All India Radio program from the age in the year 1960, 60 to 64. So we have cultivated a very good taste towards Carnatic music only just because of my father. ఇకనై నారద గురు స్వామి, ఇకనై నారద గురు స్వామి. Because of my father, I applied for an announcer post in All India Radio. In 1968, I was selected as an announcer. Since I do have the quality of music and singing, at that time, Oleti Venkateshwara garu was the chief producer of Carnatic music in those days. Actually, I was selected for commercial broadcasting service, even though it is there, Vividha Bharati, we call it. Vritti, Pravritti. Na Pravritti Pata. Vritti కూడా పాటలో ఉండేటటువంటి వృత్తే. ఇది అదృష్టం. ఇట్స్ ఏ బ్లెస్సింగ్ టు మీ బికాజ్ ఐఎమ్ వెరీ మచ్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ ఇన్ మ్యూజిక్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ మై జాబ్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ ఈజ్ లింక్డ్ అప్ విత్ ద మ్యూజిక్. సో దే యూస్ టు బ్రాడ్కాస్ట్ so many varieties of music, where I was supposed to listen to all the programs, since they used to send the spool tapes. So my duty is to play back the tapes, 7 inches spool tapes. I used to play the tapes, giving announcements, doing a live program while playing the gramophone records. That was my duty. In that way, I was very much linked up with the studio where I am not supposed to leave the studio. So I was compelled to listen to all music. So everything entered into my mind. One day I was listening. देखा है तेरी आँखों में प्यार ही प्यार बेशुमार पाया है तेरी बाहों में प्यार ही प्यार बेशुमार. This is a song sung by Muhammad Rafi. Very simple one, but amazing. It is only because of his voice. How to project the voice, how to give the voice to the maximum extent to the ear. When I close the doors, nobody enters into the studio. Surprisingly, on that day, my Gurugar was listening. After the lunch is over, this program was from 1:30 to 2:30. So by 1:30, he used to come back from home after lunch. So sit in the duty room of commercial broadcasting service, listen to these songs, one or two songs, enjoy them, and going to his chamber. That was his practice. When I was put on duty and singing this song, along with Muhammad Rafi, I was thinking, I was planning and singing in such a way that my voice and Rafi's voice should be very much accurately fixed together. He listened to it and inquired the duty officer, who is singing inside? Sir, he is Surya Babu, our new announcer. Of course, he joined in last year. You ask him to meet me. So it was conveyed to me. So immediately next day, sir, I listened to your voice. What is the use of singing film songs? Do you achieve anything? Sir, I don't know anything, but I am very much interested to listen and sing. Okay, it's all right, but you have a very good voice. You have Shruti soaked voice. It's a plus point to you. Why don't you continue singing with Carnatic music? Sir, I know some songs my father has taught me, but I am not sure whether I am fit to learn. Don't worry. There is a program, a live program from All India Radio, Vijayawada, music lesson. So better you join. Be as a student with me. So from the next day onwards, I didn't say no. Sir, sure, definitely. I will adjust my program announcer duties in such a way to accommodate music lesson program along with you. The program was broadcast on Wednesday and Friday. Like that, when I started participating with him, it was a miracle. In fact, till then, I was simply reproducing what I hear from my father. But to be very frank with you, I was not completely equipped with the material which I have to acquire. So when I started singing with him, I came to understand the value of the notation and how the swaras are being adapted to the sahityam. And I came to understand swaram is not as it is being sung by the musicians. And whatever we sing, it is not being written on the paper. Something is going on to the ear. And what is that something? And I was worried. If at all I commit mistake while the broadcast, live broadcast, and if anybody writes a letter, a postcard itself enough. So who is that student committing so many mistakes? So this postcard itself is enough for disqualification. So I was very much accurate. Though at that time I was not aware of the notation. I didn't go to him prior to the recording. We used to record the musical lesson programs for Wednesday, we used to record on Monday or prior to the broadcast. And we used to give away the tapes to the library. Surprisingly, the thing is, whether it is, even though the Kirtana is very much new to me, he didn't ask me, sir, we are going to start the new Kirtana from tomorrow. shall we have a rehearsal at home? He didn't. Even I didn't ask him. Itikasa Purana Charita. These intricacies, while following the notation, I was not taught by my father. He didn't give us any notation to sing. Simply singing and reproducing. So that was a new practice to me. I will have to definitely look at the notation and sing. And he was such a guru, he was able to take me with his fingers like this. And now you sing, start singing. Pati nidana miuva rida nidarava Budi mavanamari gagari sari Pati nidanamiu abudhi satyabhama kedula kalige. Sustaining a note comes, he used to give prominence to that particular phrase. After singing everything, Juti jita sharada praninu vina Munivarula kevaru kalige. This came to my mind immediately and instantly to my mind. So whenever I sing everything, all the details, I must find out a Nadalayam point. If we miss the resting point, there is no use of singing so many gamakas. Just like he used to compare all the rivers join in the ocean. All the Kolahara Saptaswaras join in the Sajam. So Olet Guru Garu used to find out a resting point more than the gamakas. Sareku Sangihitayoga. That is a dangerous point. Daivatam, to catch hold of the Daivatam and sing it perfectly, it's only possible to the musicians like Hippolyte Garu. Chiti nityagaraja vinudana Chintanirchi Praklaruni Brochina. That is the spirit of Tyagaraja. So the entire feeling comes from that phrase only. Unless I pay attention towards that particular word, it's such a Narada. You have blessed Prahlada. You asked him to come nearer to him, to you, and blessed him. Prahlada. That was the feeling. That was the next stage to my music career. In that way, I have learned nearly 300 and 320 kirtanas from him in a span of 15 to 18 years, including Navagraha Krutis, Navavana Krutis, Navaratri Krutis of Swatinad. All these Krutis were taught by him. My guru's background was, his guru was Munuganti Venkatarao Pantulu of Kakinada. Munuganti Venkatarao Pantulu garu, Munuganti Panakalrao garu, వీళ్ళిద్దరూ కాకినాడలో శ్రీరామ గాన సమాజం అని ఒకటి స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. సింప్లీ ఫీడింగ్ దెమ్ అండ్ టీచింగ్ మ్యూజిక్. దట్ వాజ్ దేర్ మిషన్. ఏమన శంకర శాస్త్రి, సీతా అనసూయ, ఫోక్ మ్యూజిక్ సింగర్స్, సమ్ అనదర్ అచ్యుతరామ శాస్త్రి, వీళ్ళు ఆయన దగ్గర నేర్చుకున్నారు ఓలేటి గారితో. మునుగంటి వెంకటరావు పంతులు గారు ఓదే అంటే మల్టీ ఫేజెడ్ ఉన్నటువంటి వ్యక్తి. చాలా ఆయనకి అన్ని బాణీలు నచ్చేవి. హీ యూస్ టు లైక్ ఆల్ ది బాణీస్, ఆల్ ది స్టైల్స్, వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ హిందుస్థానీ మ్యూజిక్, కర్ణాటక మ్యూజిక్, ఫోక్ మ్యూజిక్, ఫిలిం మ్యూజిక్, గజల్ మ్యూజిక్, ఇవన్నీ ఆయనకి వచ్చేది. అన్నింటికన్నా ముఖ్యం ఏంటంటే స్వర సౌందర్యం ఎక్కువగా అనుభవించినటువంటి వ్యక్తి ఆయన. The first Kirtana I have learned from him is Mahita Pravruti, Lalgudi Pancharatnam, in Kamboji. Till then, there was another student, NCB Jagannatharlu. He was also a staff artist. So after I joined there, that Jagannatharlu asked me, why should we two sing? It may not sync. Singing three is maybe a little difficult. So better I leave. I quit. Better you continue. It has become a varam to me. And it's a break to me. Janani Magita Pravruta Srimadi. He used to, while teaching, at times Volet garu used to become very much emotional. Do you know how we assemble in the studio before the broadcast? Before the live broadcast, I used to enter into the studio by 6:45. The program live broadcast is at 7:15 after Telugu news. 7:15 to 7:30. My Guru Garu was residing opposite to studios, All India Radio, Labbipeta. He used to enter into the studio by 6:55 or 6:50, where I was very much ready with Tambra. Immediately when he enters, the first question he used to ask me, Sir, Anna Shruti, sir, he was fond of singing in less than C, A sharp or B. A kirtana which is to be taught is Lalite Shri Pravruta Srimati. This is the kirtana which I have to continue in the music lesson program. There was no dialogue between my guru and me, except listening to the tambra sound. This was his practice. So after listening to him first time, why he is singing like this? What made him to sing like this? When we are supposed to sing Lalite Pravruti Sri Bhairavi, why he is singing? So after observing him for 1 or 2 days, so from the third day onwards, I used to follow him. This was his routine way of singing, just 4 or 5 minutes or 7 minutes. At 7:15, at the stroke of 7:15, the announcements, we used to listen to the announcement. Akashvani, Vijayawada, Hyderabad, Kadapa, Visakhapatnam కేంద్రాల నుంచి ప్రసారం సంగీత శిక్షణ అధ్యాపకులు ఓలేటి వెంకటేశ్వర్లు గారు, విద్యార్థి మల్లారి సూరిబాబు. We will continue Lalite Pravruti. Lalite Shri Pravruta Srimati. It was a surprising thing in my life. Why Volet garu used to sing these? So I have realized a fact that he used to admire the beauty of the swaras.
సంగీత శిక్షణ విన్నారు. అధ్యాపకులు ఓలేటి వెంకటేశ్వర్లు గారు, విద్యార్థి శ్రీ మల్లాది సూరిబాబు.
ఇవాళ నుంచి శ్రీరాగంలో శారయ్య గారి కీర్తన నామ కుసుమమున అనేది పాఠం చేద్దాం. శ్రీరాగం 22వ మేళకర్త అయిన కరహర ప్రియరాగంలో జన్మం. నామకుసుమములచే పూజించే నరజన్మమే జన్మము మనస. ఇది పల్లవి. నామకుసుమముల నామకుసు నామకుసు మాముల మాముల నామకుసు మాముల నామకుసు మాముల నామకుసు మాముల నామ 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 కుసుమ కుసుమ ముల ముల కుసుమ ముల నామ కుసుమ ముల నామ కుసుమము కుసుమము నామ కుసుమము నామ.
ఏ సుఖం అయితే మన చెవికి దొరుకుతుందో ఈ కీర్తనలు పాడడం వల్ల, ఈ కీర్తనలు పాడడం వల్ల ఏ సుఖం అయితే నాకు చేరుతుందో ఆ సుఖాన్ని నేను మళ్ళీ నెమరేసుకోవటం. రిపీటింగ్ ది బ్యూటీ, ది సుఖం, దానికోసం తాపత్రయపడేవారు ఆయన. అందుకని మనం ఆయన కచేరీలో చూస్తుంటే మనం గ్రహించేది, ఈవెన్ లాల్గుడి జయరామన్ గారు కానీ ఎంఎస్ గోపాలకృష్ణన్ గారు కానీ ఆయనతో సహకరిస్తున్నప్పుడు whenever they used to follow him, they used to enjoy his music rather than following him. Even breathing also very much important. How to adjust the breath to the words. Don't leave them because of your lack of control on the breath. And he used to tell me, catch hold of that particular word with a calculated breath. Be prepared to sing it. Don't leave it. So if I sing along with him and lose the breath while singing along with him, I will be identified. Is it not? So I was compelled to sing along with him without any break. Mundu venukairu prakala. Then he takes the breath. Todai, Todai you can sing a little bit later on. Sa ni da ma pa ma ni da pa da pa ma ga ma pa da sa. This is a brief notation of Sri Raghuvara. Let us not go into details. If it is written and sung according to the written version, you cannot enjoy the kirtana. Sa dahani da ma mani da da. Unfortunately, the thing is, he used to explain why should we brief the notation. Sa da dahani da ma pa ma mani da da pa. Da ni da pa da pa pa ma da pa pa ma 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 pa da. This is the detailed study of the notation. Don't sing. Sir, you have given me to look into the notation. Okay? Then you say, don't sing that. It is highly difficult to explain. But I will tell you and follow me. He used to tell. Sara. Da is an attachment tag. Da should be silent. Then why have you written? So it is very difficult to analyze. But use your ear. what is being heard, you try to reproduce the same thing. Sri Raghu Mamavasi Sri Ra. These follow one by one, one by one. That was his practice. Ulet Garu's practice was mainly focusing on the swaram pattern. In fact, these things and these points are to be observed from the Gurus. Even I observe from my Paramaguru Pinaki Pandigar also. Whenever new song comes on air, I used to call my Guru to the VB studio, Virubhar studio, ask him to sit somewhere, listen to the new song. He used to listen. And చాలా మంచి బుద్ధిమాను ఆయన మంచి మేధ. ఒక్కసారి చెప్తే చాలు, రెండుసార్లు చెప్పక్కల. వన్స్ ఇస్ ఇనఫ్. హీ యూస్ టు రిమెంబర్ ఆల్ ది ట్యూన్స్. ఎన్ని పాటలు విన్నా అన్నీ అలా గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటూ ఉండేవారు. తర్వాత ఓలేటు గురువు గారు యూస్ టు లైక్ టు సింగ్ బేగడ, షణ్ముఖప్రియ, రంజని అండ్ some ragas like Athana, Raghupriya, very beautifully. In fact, to say, Bagada was his most favorite ragam. He used to pick up the Jevaswaram of the ragam before he enters into the Alapana. Gandharam is the key swaram of Bagada. For him, Voleti Gandharam is different. I would like to tell an incident. We had been to Bangalore for a SARC Summit program, where myself and my Guru were in one room, in a double room. And Peri Sriyamurthy was the violinist. And D. Seshachari played Mridangam for his concert on that day. So we were in a hotel, a big hotel, where we found Madurai Somu, Mandarin Srinivas, Mallikarjun Mansoor, and so many stalwarts have come. In fact, he was not ready to attend the SARC Summit concert, and he asked me to cancel the ticket. Sir, what is that? Why should we go there such a long way? He was saying, who listen to me, sir? Why do you worry about my concert? No, sir. It's a prestigious concert, sir, where people from different places are participating. Mallikarjun Mansoor is coming, sir. I will also come along with you. Please, sir. So somehow I have convinced him. He accepted it. We went to Bangalore. Tomorrow is the concert. Before the concert, the early hours of the morning at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, I had a dream. In that dream, I was listening to a Bagada. I thought it was a dream. The Bagada was continuously coming to my ears, and I was enjoying the Bagada. The moment I opened my eyes, it is nothing but my Guru Garu was singing Bagada. At the doorsteps of the bathroom, keeping one towel on his head, so that he can listen to his voice very closely, like this. Do you know, I remember how he started the ragam. He was not able to leave that Gandharam. He sings Subbaraj Shastri Shankar Nive. శ్రీగాచి శరణ సురదనర శశివరనర విశ్రీ. He takes as if holding a baby of days baby. How we hold baby. So he takes that much care. వ్యక్తిగా బాగా పరిచయం నాకు. ఆయన మనస్సులో ఏమని అనుకుంటున్నారో, ఏం ఆలోచిస్తున్నారో అన్నీ నాకు తెలుస్తూనే ఉండేవి. సంగీతం వల్ల ఆయన మనస్సు ద్రవీభూతం అయిపోయింది అని చెప్పాలి. మెల్ట్ అయిపోయాడు ఆయన. స్వరాలతో మెల్ట్ అయిపోయి జీవితంలో అంతకన్నా పరమార్థం మరొకటి లేదనుకుని భావించి ఒక నిర్ణయానికి వచ్చినటువంటి వ్యక్తి. వాటి ముందు అంటే స్వరాలు సాధన చేస్తే వచ్చేటటువంటి ఆనందం ముందు ఆయనకి లభించే సత్కారాలు కానీ, ఆయనకి లభించే డబ్బు కానీ, అవార్డులు కానీ, రివార్డులు కానీ ఆయన దృష్టిలో అవి ఎక్కువ కాదు. ఆ ఫుడ్ లేకపోయినా బతకచ్చు, కానీ ఆ స్వరాలు ఉంటే చాలు బతకచ్చు అనుకునేటటువంటి భావంతో ఉండే మట్టి. రెండోది, కచేరీలు చేయాలి, కచేరీలు చేసి సంపాదన చేయాలి అనేటటువంటి ఆశ అసలు లేదు. రెండోది, దివ్యమైన కీర్తనలు అందించినటువంటి సంగీత మూర్తిత్రయం వారు ఆ రచనలో ఉండేటటువంటి వాళ్ళు పడినటువంటి అనుభూతులన్నీ ఆయన పాడుతున్నప్పుడు ఆయన అనుభవించేవారు. బహుశా ఇలా ఆ వాళ్ళు కూడా అనుభవించి ఉంటారేమో అని ఆయన పాడుతుంటే నాకు తెలుస్తుండేది. ఎదురు కూడా కూర్చుని వినేవాడిని కదా. అందుకని ఐ యూస్ టు లిసన్ టు హిమ్ వెరీ మచ్ క్లోజ్లీ. అండ్ వెన్ ఎవర్ హీ సింగ్స్ సర్టన్ కృతీస్ ఎమోషనల్ అయిపోతుండేవారు ఆయన. అలనాడు నీర్జరవైరి బాలు నిజూచి బ్రోచితివిగాయని అంటప్పుడు ఎమోషనల్ అయిపోయిన సందర్భాలు చూసా. రెండోది ఏంటంటే, గమకాలు కానీ తర్వాత అందులో వచ్చే సంగతులు కానీ రాగంలో కంటే కీర్తనలో వచ్చేవి భిన్నంగా కాదు. కీర్తన ఈజ్ ఏ కాంపోజిషన్. ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ అవుట్ ది తాళం, దట్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ ఈజ్ ఏ సాలిడ్ రాగం. ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ అవుట్ ది తాళం, అది ఆయన బిలీఫ్. ఆయన పాడుతున్నప్పుడు కచేరీ పర్పస్ దృష్టిలో ఉండేది కాదు, కీర్తనని ఎంజాయ్ చేసే దృష్టిలో పాడుతుండేవారు. తర్వాత ఎక్కడెక్కడికో వెళ్ళి కచేరీలు చేయాలనేటువంటి ఆశ ఉండేది కాదు. టు అవర్ సర్ప్రైజ్, ఇన్ ది లాస్ట్ మినిట్ హీ యూస్ టు క్యాన్సిల్ ది టికెట్ if he accepts any concert, if a upper berth is allotted to him. Why should we go there and sing there? Who is worried about my music? He used to say like that. That was his mentality. సౌండ్కి దాసుడు, శృతికి దాసుడు. తర్వాత శృతి సుఖం ఏమిటో ఆయనకి తెలిసినట్టుగా నాకు తెలిసింది. లేలాగా వినోదుని పరమ. హీ యూస్ టు కార్వ్ ఎవ్రీ ఫ్రేజ్ విత్ ఎ బ్యూటిఫుల్ పెర్ఫెక్షన్. అది నేను ఆయన దగ్గర చూసా. అంటే జిగ్జాగ్గా లేకుండా, అంటే అన్సర్టన్గా లేకుండా సాలిడ్గా, రాగం పాడినా సాలిడ్గా కనిపిస్తుండేది, కీర్తన పాఠం అప్పచెప్పినా సాలిడ్గా వినిపించేది, స్వరకల్పన కూడా అంతాను. అవన్నీ సాలిడ్గా అలా కనిపిస్తుండేది తప్ప ఆయనకి ఇంట్లో ప్రాక్టీస్, ఆయన చేయాల్సిన ప్రాక్టీస్ అంతా ఇంట్లో ఆయన చిన్న వయసులో చేశారు. హీ డిడ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ వెన్ హీ వాజ్ వెరీ మచ్ యంగ్. ఆల్ ఇండియా రేడియోలో జాయిన్ అయిన తర్వాత నేను ఎప్పుడు ఇంట్లో ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయగలలా. హీ యూస్ టు సింగ్ ఫర్ హిమ్సెల్ఫ్ అండ్ హీ యూస్ టు సింగ్. మంత్ర సాధన ఎక్కువ చేస్తుండేవారు. మంత్ర సాధన చేస్తున్నప్పుడు తారస్థాయిలో ఉండే సంగతులన్నీ మంత్రస్థాయిలోకి వచ్చేస్తూ వినిపిస్తుండేది నాకు. అది గొప్ప ప్రాక్టీస్. డ్యూరింగ్ హిస్ లెర్నింగ్ స్టేజ్ విత్ మునిగంటి వెంకట్రావు పంతులు గారు, ఈవెన్ టుడే దెర్ ఈస్ సూర్యకళా మందిరం అని ఉంటుంది నేను కాకినాడలో. ఆ సూర్యకళా మందిరంలో కొమ్మిరెడ్డి సూర్యనారాయణ గారని, హీ వాజ్ ఎ గ్రేట్ ప్యాటర్న్ ఆఫ్ కర్ణాటిక్ మ్యూజిక్ లవర్. హీ యూస్ టు అరేంజ్ సో మెనీ సౌత్ ఇండియన్ great Vidwans, inviting them perform ఇన్ కాకినాడ సూర్యకళా మందిరం. అటువంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్లో హిందుస్థానీ ఆర్టిస్టులు కూడా వచ్చేవారు. బడే గులాం అలీ ఖాన్ వచ్చేవాడు. తర్వాత చాలామంది హిందుస్థానీ ఆర్టిస్టులు కూడా వచ్చి పాడేవారు. సో ఓలెట్ గారు యూస్ టు లిజన్ టు హిందుస్థానీ మ్యూజిక్ ఆల్సో వెరీ పెర్ఫెక్ట్లీ, వెరీ సిన్సియర్లీ. ఇన్ హిందుస్థానీ మ్యూజిక్ తాన్ సంప్రదాయం ఒకటి ఉంది. ఇదంతా హీ హాజ్ డిరైవ్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ హిందుస్థానీ సంప్రదాయంలో. He used to sing the ragam in a Tan Sampradayam. తాన్ సంప్రదాయం అది ఎక్కడ దొరుకుతుందంటే కిరాణా ఘరానాలో ఈ సంప్రదాయం. దిస్ he got it from Bade Gulam Ali Khan. Tarindana tarina tarindana tarina tarindana tarina Americans make. He used to listen to all these styles. Bade Gulam Ali Khan was invited for Madras concerts. He spent more time with Bade Gulam Ali Khan, where he was residing just by the house of the Mussir Subramanians. Whenever he sings, he doesn't care the routine way of system of Ragalapana. That is the routine way. This is all routine. But for him, it is not a routine. Suppose he takes Varadi, he pretty well knows that he is going to sing Varadi and finds any chance of doing a miracle with Hindustani attempt. This is the attempt of Hindustani. Normally, any musician will not catch hold of that ma, but he finds it. Even the accompanying violinist, whether he is a great artist or medium artist, he will have to shut down it. Keep the violin on the floor. First enjoy. Then let us think of following him or not, that is separate. He used to select certain ragas which is easy for him to touch Hindustani style. There are two great artists of Pakistan. One is Mehdi Hasan, another is Ghulam Ali. In 1978, Mehdi Hasan's ghazal program was arranged in Hyderabad, where the tickets were 1,000 rupees and 500 rupees in 78. My guru has purchased a 500 rupees ticket and asked me whether I also join with him. Sir, nenu vastanu. Me iddaram vellam. We met Mehdi Hasan. We spent a very good time in All India Radio. ఐ ప్రెజెంటెడ్ ఏ ఫోటో టు మెహదీ హసన్ సాబ్. ఇది అన్నంతగా ముందు ఏంటంటే బోలెట్ గారితో నాతో నా వల్ల బోలెట్ గారికి వీ బోత్ హ్యాడ్ ఏ వెరీ గుడ్ టేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ లిజనింగ్ గజల్ మ్యూజిక్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ స్టాల్వర్డ్స్. మగగని గని సగ మగ సగమప గమ మగని. This is that tune I had from Ustad Mehdi Hasan of Pakistan. In fact, it has moved my guru and me also. That's jog with different colors. So I have composed one Annamacharya song in the same ragam. Maya mohamu manadini, Maya mohamu maninadi, Maya mohamu manadidi. శ్రీయచ్యుతని చిత్తమే కలది మాయమోగము మానదిది. శ్రీయచ్యుతని చిత్తమే కలది మాయమోగము మానదిది. Whenever he was asked to compose any song for All India Radio, he used to look at the lyric and prepare the notation at home, and the next day he used to search for me. Sir, if you find Suryababu garu, ask him to come to me. I used to go to his chamber. After sitting before him, he used to ask me to listen his version. One day he has composed a song. Nirigama gariga gari nipasa, Nirigama gariga gari nipasa, gapada sanidani sanipamaga, Nirigama gariga gari nipasa. What a beautiful tune, sir. Gama gasa nida. That was his way of tuning the song. Gapada nida sanida sa dasari gasa nida nida parama parama gasa. రాగం భావం ఒక జంట, పువ్వు తావి ఒక జంట, తనువు తలపు ఒక జంట, కలల పంటకిది తగునంట రాగం భావం. This was his way of composing song. Since అందుకని ఆయన ఆకాశవాణిలో ఉన్న he was asked to compose light songs. He used to show much interest to compose. And when composing his songs, he used to call me. So in that way, I have cultivated a taste of composing also only because of him. One day I asked him, sir, I have composed one song which is going to be recorded tomorrow. We met in a studio, in the music studio, and I sang the song before him. It's a beautiful song. Actually, I have composed a song in Madhuvanti. ఉదయాద్రిపై దివ్వే పటిల పరచేదెవరు ఉదయాద్రిపై దివ్వే పటిల పరచేదెవరు వెయ్యి వెలుగుల సొగసు విశ్వవీరుల వీరియ ఉదయాద్రిపై దివ్వే పటిల పరచేదెవరు వెయ్యి వెలుగుల సొగసు విశ్వవీరుల వీరియ ఉదయాద్రిపై దివ్వే పటిల పరచేదెవరు. This I have sang. I sang before him. Simply, he was listening with a little bit smile. Immediately after finishing the Pallavi, when I was about to start this next charanam, he suggested that ragam. Mannume naipudame vinnaboyina ruji తరుల తీగల పూలు మురిసిరంగులు విరియ ఉదయాద్రిపై దివ్వే ఏ మహాశక్తి కృపై విశ్వమును బ్రోచు ఏ మహాశక్తి కృపై విశ్వమును బ్రోచు ఆమె పూజా పీఠమలరూపజ్యోతిగా ఉదయాద్రిపై దివ్వే పటిల పరచేదెవరు వెయ్యి వెలుగుల సొగసు విశ్వవీరుల వీరియ ఉదయాద్రిపై దివ్వే పటిల పరచే ఏ తదరి Pani Garu had a very good friend. His name is Parabrahma Shastri. Brahma Shastri. He was also a professor of medicine. They used to have a walk in the beach during the evenings. He was also a great Rasika, Brahma Shastri. One day he asked Pani Garu, Pani, which is the difficult ragam in Carnatic music? So Pani Garu replied, Ragapriya I feel Ragapriya is the difficult one. So why don't you sing for me? Raghupriya was a favorite ragam to Olet Garu also. It came from Pani Garu to Olet Garu. Whenever Olet Garu comes to this place, Chennai, people used to ask him to sing Raghupriya. In fact, I asked him to sing Raghupriya for me at home one day during a summer season that was big peak summer. So we had a discussion and we were talking about Raghupriya. He sang Raghupriya and asked me to repeat it. Na, 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 na 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 We had the opportunity of meeting him, డాక్టర్ పాణి గారు, ఇన్ 91. దానికి కారణం ఏంటంటే ఆయన ఫ్రెండ్కి నేను ఉత్తరం రాశా. బ్రహ్మశాస్త్రి గారిని చెప్పే కదా, ఆయన విశాఖపట్నంలో ఉన్నప్పుడు ఆయనకి రాశాను. నేను ఇలా మీ అందరూ తెలుసు కాబట్టి, సో ఐ హ్యావ్ రిటన్ లెటర్ టు హిమ్ రిక్వెస్టింగ్ హిమ్ టు రికమెండ్ మీ టు పాణి గారు. సో ఇమ్మీడియట్లీ హీ కాంటాక్టెడ్ పాణి గారు దట్ సేయింగ్ దట్ మల్లార్ సూరిబాబు కమ్స్ టు యూ. పాణి గారు replied me, asking me, and whenever you are free, you can come. My voice is very much clear. Though physically I am not able to sit together for hours together, but I can sing, I can teach you. మీదే ఆలస్యం అన్నారు. ఫస్ట్ I heard his క్షాత్రయ పదం. Till then, I listened to some క్షాత్రయ పదమ్స్ rendered by my guru, ఓలేటి గారు. పాణి గారు ఒక సంగీత ఋషి. సంగీత ఋషి అంటే he lived in Kurnool, an atmosphere where there was no music atmosphere. Music college was there, but he breathed music. He has written so many books. On Manodharmam, he has written a book, how to sing Ragalapana, how to make Narval, and how to sing Swarakalpana, a book. And he has collected some Pallavis, and he has composed some Pallavis dedicated to Nayana Pillai, brought out a book. Another important thing is, he has notated to all the most popular divine compositions of the Trinity as well as other post-Tyagaraja composers by bringing out in 4 volumes published by the TTD. అందులో స్పెషాలిటీ ఏంటంటే వీ కెన్ ఈజీలీ ఫాలో ది నోటేషన్. అంటే నోటేషన్ చూసి ఫాలో అవ్వటం అనేటటువంటిది ఇట్స్ ఏ టెక్నిక్. నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఈజ్ యూజ్ఫుల్ టు ది టీచర్స్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ టు ది స్టూడెంట్స్. అండ్ హీ వాజ్ వెరీ మచ్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ టు టీచ్ టు ఎనీబడి హూ ఈజ్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ టు లెర్న్. నేర్చుకుందామని సరదా చూపించిన వాళ్ళందరికీ శ్రద్ధగా చెప్పేవారు. అండ్ ఫ్రమ్ పాణి గారు, ది ఫస్ట్ స్టూడెంట్ వాజ్ నోకల్ చిన్న సత్యనారాయణ, నెక్స్ట్ నేదునూరి కృష్ణమూర్తి గారు, నెక్స్ట్ ఓలేటి వెంకటేశ్వర్లు గారు. ఇంతమందిని మంచి శిష్యులుగా తయారు చేసేవారు. ఆయన వాళ్ళ సిస్టరు సంగీతం నేర్చుకుంటుంటే ఆ సంగీతం విని ఈయన సంగీతం పట్ల భక్తి ఏర్పడింది ఆయనకి. హిజ్ ఫస్ట్ గురు వాజ్ మైసూర్ బి లక్ష్మణరావు. When he was in Rajahmundry, he started taking classes from him. And his guru used to take him to the concerts and made him to listen closely the concerts. And stalwarts concerts he listened to. And whenever he listens to any new kirtana, his guru used to take him to that musician. They used to go there, request the musicians to teach that kirtana, telling that Pani Garu knows notation. He knows pretty well how to write the notations perfectly, with all the nuances, with all the gamakas, with all the details. So that was his great qualification. ఆ కీర్తనలు మేము నేర్చుకునేటటువంటి అదృష్టం కలిగింది. వీ హ్యాడ్ ది ఆపర్చునిటీ ఆఫ్ లెర్నింగ్ కృతీస్, including my sons. To be very frank with you, we were not very much particular about the notation. But when we started classes from him, both of my sons as well as me, we were concentrating on the notation. అది మాకెప్పుడూ అంతవరకు తెలియదు. We don't know how to simplify the notation and how the notation is adjusted to the సాహిత్యం. And how to make the simplify the notation also he has shown a way. జూచి నాడు గైడు నిన్ను జూచి నాడు గైడు నేలలయమువ గోపాల. This is the Kshatriya Padam which attracted me like anything and provoked me to visit Panigari's house. నిన్ను చూడ గలిగేయను యునళగు The first composer was Jayadeva. Later on, Purandardas. Aganapuram, next Annamacharya, Thamapaka Annamacharya. And next comes Music Trinity. What about Kshatriya? Kshatriya Padams are supposed to sing for dance purpose, for a nrityam sake. In fact, to say Kshatriya was inspired for a Devadasi who was a dancer. She has inspired him to write songs suitable for choreography and to give more expressions through the ragam. In ragam, there are expressions. Enduku pedala. It is an expression. Vale buddhiyavu. He is just asking him, begging him, why don't you grant me that sense of discrimination? That is the meaning of that Pallavi. It is not to be sung enduku pedala. That is different. That is for the music concert's sake. But when you understand the meaning of the Pallavi, enduku pedala vale buddhiyavu eldugoruneya enta నిన్నేవనిల్టును శబరి భాగమెంత నిన్నే. These are the kirtanas, divine kirtanas, came from the composers, great composers, with full of bhavam. The same technique was developed by Kshatriya through dance. He has shown all the entire swarupam of the ragam through the words. So Kshatriya Padams are composed mostly in Trisal Tripura, where you can give more expressions, more bhavam. That is the greatness of Kshatriya. Lemaromaya Gopaludena. They were searching for Krishna. Have you seen him? They left everything. They left their husbands, children, everything, and started spending more time with Krishna. Have you seen? Have you seen him? It's an expression. So this dancer shows everything. Let's say, no, don't worry. వాడు ఎక్కడున్నా మరేం పర్వాలా, మాకుంటే చాలు. లేమారోమమువే గోపాలుడేన లెస్సగయుటే చాలునే. So according to the expression of this lyric, definitely she shows So the rulers, the local rulers in those days were very much inspired with this. So Kshatriya was very much patronized by the rulers, not in his native place, where nobody knows about Kshatriya. His name is Vardaya. Because he visited so many Kshatras, pilgrimage, he became Kshatriya. The surprising thing is, though Kshatriya belongs to our place, Andhra, they are being made popular by Brunda Mukta family, Dhanammal family. It's a surprising thing. They enjoyed the beauty of the Kshatriya Params continuously for so many generations. Dhanammal, her granddaughters, her daughter, her granddaughters, and still. But unfortunately, nowadays, they are not being sung. They should be sung, and definitely people will enjoy the Kshatriya Params because we want Ragam. Of course, the Sahityam is there, but what about the Ragam? The entire beauty lies in the Ragam. At this age, I realized a fact that Sitavara Sangita Jnanamu Dhatavara Valada. I didn't derive from anybody or from my father. Brahma has written me on my forehead that better you sing. Only because of that reason I am singing. अब के हम बिछड़ तो शायद कभी ख्वाब मिले अब के हम बिछड़ तो शायद कभी ख्वाब मिले जिस तरह सूखे हुए जिस तरह सूखे हुए फूल किताब मिले अब के हम बिछड़े